That's exactly, that, see, you say strict enough. So, explain that.
Cause like they sent an email like asking parents to fill out like if they wanted their child to be included in the band or not. Like if they wanted their child to like put their phones away. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like they had a choice.
The policy is, do we go to a strict ban or something that allows you to have them, but only at certain times of the day? So, that's what she's talking about.
Can we do multiple, strategies?
Yes, I want multiple strategies, absolutely. Good question. So,
Well, I don't think an email could actually help.
It didn't help because they're not doing it anymore.
see, the email it's a survey. That's the way you get answers from parents. You send them an email, you send them a survey. And then a good district would definitely listen to, you know, its constituents, you know, the parents, the teachers, you want all of, as many people involved in those decisions as possible. You want to get as much information as you can before you implement a policy. So that's the reason why they would send emails, right? But doing your research shows you a lot of different, thoughts on the subject. So that's what we really want to do. But like I said, Caroline Beatty, she doesn't have an opinion. What she does is state both sides of the coin. And she lets people make their decisions based on accurate information from those who are for it and those who are against it. You get what I'm saying?
I searched up phone policies in UT,
Uh-huh.
and it said there's a general policy that cell phones should be turned off and put away during the school day,
Yes.
with exceptions from instructional use when given information by teachers or administrators. So like that's good, but like I don't want it to be strict, but like it's gonna have to be strict.
You don't want it to be strict, what do you mean?
Like
You don't want a total ban?
not like a full ban, like
No.
what they're saying right now. This okay, like without permission to use your phone, like that's a good enough policy. But like banning phones completely, that's like over exaggerated, cause like you never know.
I feel like what she, maybe if she didn't want it to be too strict, she didn't want it to like be that focused on it, because if they take it so far as to maybe at advisory time you keep your phone in the room and then you spend the rest of the day without it, and then when school over or lunch you go to your advisory room and pick up the phone.
And that's too much. Like I don't think it ever get that serious. It
Yeah.
shouldn't even get that serious.
Okay, that's good. And I like what you're filling in here. So that's, yes. If the policy would be adhered to by the students, it could be one of those policies that doesn't go over the top. But it takes buy-in from the students as well as the teachers. You know, we don't want the teachers to ban us totally, but you also have to follow the mandate that's already, there. And what Matthew said was that the policy is that we're only supposed to use our phones for instructional purposes. Right, for instructional purposes. So, doing a TikTok,
So like that's understandable.
yeah, but does that happen?
Doing a
Yeah.
TikTok
Yeah.
at school?
Yeah, especially if it's not educational.
Okay, like me personally, if
Mhm.
I'm walking on the hallway and there's
What is that?
someone,
What is that I hear?
it's my phone, should I turn it off?
Yes. I should do that with every beginning of class.
I turn it off, so.
Yeah, okay. But,
You know how like during MCAT they would have us put our bags in the back of the class
yes,
and our phones in our bags?
yes,
See, like that, if we had that, like, during like every single class, that's like a good limit. But banning it completely is like dragging it too much.
that is, well, one, that's a state policy for cell phone use during testing. And as the testing coordinator, I'm gonna make sure that we adhere to that. So, those of you who don't have lockers or can't get into your lockers, or you know, combinations, that policy is in place. As long as you put them in your bags, and your bags are in that room or in that area, you're fine. You know, but that is only effective because I stay on top of it.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like throughout the whole day, like through every single period, instead of us having our phones in the class, like with us like running together, so we have access to them, they could be in the back of the class.
Yes,
So like that's a policy that they could like actually enforce that people possibly follow.
possible, yeah. I think I said this when we talked about that, when the email first came out, how the policy where my son goes to school is every teacher, every classroom has a cell phone holder on the wall. So when you come in, you have your own slot, you drop it in, it's your number, it's, that you're given for that classroom. My son's number is 4, and he used that number because he had it twice, right? So now, when you go to that classroom, he just drops it in that spot number 4, and everybody can see it, it's right there, you know, nobody can get to it or take it. So everybody, it's very visual, it's a visual, and it works.
Like in this school, that only happens when the teacher so that's how to pick it up and then drop on there. But like we don't do that.
That's the buying in process. That's the part that the students have to buy into the policy. So you have to buy into, when I walk in the room, drop it in the slot. So then that's what makes the county wants to do a total ban, because you won't adhere to what we're already giving you. You understand that? Yeah, so that's good. So it says, how have the students, the teachers, and the parents responded to these policies? So you could type, that's our third question. How are the students responding to that? And just what you just said, they're not doing it. They're not adhering to the policy. Right, not adhering to the policies. So this to me is not a one-time, one shot to get it done kind of thing, right? So this is not just let's put it up, put the program up on Monday, let Ms. Bassett put it on her newsreel on Tuesday, and then put up a poster on Wednesday. This is something that we probably would have to have more, like what we call a campaign, and it has to go for a while, for everybody to start building the habits, you know, getting those habits. So that's,
You finish that sentence, like you know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, that's what I'm reading.
I don't know how to finish that sentence.
The students are not adhering to the policies, and the parents aren't,
Parents aren't really, enforcing.
yeah, they're not enforcing, and
They're not acting on.
exactly. And I would say some of them are not even aware, because they don't even know what the policies are. That's good. All right, now it says, what does research say? Go ahead,
Number
yeah, number 4. You're leading this, right? All right.
What is-
What did we just say about the impact of cell phone on students' finances?
So let's find out what research is. We gotta look at that. Mhm.
One of them can be distraction and reduced focus.
Where are you getting this from? What article are you looking at?
Google.
Yeah, but there's gotta be someone that wrote the article.
Rashad has it.
Go ahead.
According to Pew Research Center, 72% of high school teachers say cell phone distraction is a major problem in the classroom.
72% of high school teachers say,
Cell phone distraction is a major problem in the classroom.
I would say that's a great percentage.
Are you done?
What are they saying is the reason for that? Why are they saying it's a distraction?
I got one from Panorama Education.
Uh-huh.
It said 97% cell phones are in constant presence in schools, with 97% of students using them during school hours, mostly for non-academic purposes.
So non-academic purposes.
And it says she cited the impact that social media technology can have on youth, including leaving them cut off from human connection, social interaction, and normal classroom activity.
So if we had like a consequence, if we got caught with phones, I feel like that would make it more
Effective.
effective. People would follow it more when they know they have consequences.
So there should be more consequences. Cause there should be consequences. I mean, the consequences should be stated in the policy, but you gotta adhere to them.